Hi, it's Jack and Ash here from Fitness Lab once again, and I'm going to take you through the landmine press. The reason for that is it's a great alternative if you struggle with any overhead movements but still want some good pressing movements to target the same muscle groups. The reason a lot of people might struggle with overhead movement is their mobility around their scapula and that overhead pressing movement. If I just use Ash as an example, if I have him come side on to the camera, now what a lot of people struggle with when they go overhead is losing the ability to keep their ribs down, and they end up flaring their ribs and having this arch back. So if Ash was to do a demonstration of a normal dumbbell overhead press, what a lot of people struggle with is they end up in this position. So in order for them to get the weight overhead, their body compensates, the ribs tilt, come up and out, and we're putting excess strain on the lower back here. And also that probably means eventually we'll have a shoulder injury, if not pain over the long term. So we still want to train that movement pattern, that set of muscles. How can we do that? This is where the landmine press can come in. So it's a great alternative and one that's very easy to set up. We're very lucky that we have a full landmine kit here, but if you don't, you can easily set up a normal bumper plate with the bar in the circle, which I can show you later. So a very simple setup for a landmine press is a kneeling position. So I'm going to ask Ash to go in a half kneeling position, and the bar should sit just on the top of the shoulder here in a natural position where Ash is holding the end of the bar. Now, setup wise, we want this half kneeling position, everything here 90 degrees, a little bit apart, imagine you're on two yellow lines, just to ensure you've got a good base of support to push from. Now, from here, Ash is going to drive the bar in a natural position there. And that's perfect because as you can see here, it's not directly overhead. However, we're still concentrating on the front deltoid, a little bit of lateral deltoid, triceps here, and a little bit of pec minor up the top here, in a very similar way to what we would have in an overhead press. But because of this kneeling position, most importantly, and the angle of the bar, if you do struggle getting overhead with the rib flare, you can concentrate a lot more on keeping that solid position. So the fact we're in a kneeling position sets our hips and almost locks those in position so that you're going to find it really hard to extend into that position. Here, because of the angle where it's not directly overhead, you can concentrate on breathing those ribs down and in as you push and extend the arm away. And we have a lot nicer movement pattern with the bar for the shoulder joint. And then from here, you can vary this up in loads of different ways. So if I ask Ash to come into a standing position, we can progress and do a standing landmine. So you can have your feet just outside hip width apart, slight knee bend in this athletic position, almost like you're about to receive a tennis serve. Then from here, movement pattern's the same. You drive the bar away. It's going to end up slightly forwards of you, but again, here the progression is, because we're not able to be in that kneeling position where you've locked the hip in, you have to concentrate on that position more, help keep those ribs down with a good exhale, but then we've got that nicer movement for the shoulder and for you to easily concentrate on the key things like the hips and the ribs. And then from here, you can do multiple variations. You can combine it with a lunge, so a reverse lunge into a press. You can do alternating presses, changing arms. The list goes on. So this is just a nice way to add a supplementary exercise if you can't go overhead.